Duxford, please welcome the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team for 2017, the Red Arrow! Reds 6 and 7 move to the outsides behind Reds 2 and 3. Red 1 is squadron leader David Montenegro, and it's his third and final year as the team leader. He's a former Hawk flying instructor and Tornado F3 air defence pilot. He then joined the Red Arrows in 2009. He left in 2011 having led the synchro pair, and then moved on to fly in Tucano as a flying instructor before returning to lead the team in 2015. In from the left now, this is Phoenix. On the leader's right wing is the first of our new pilots this year. He's Red 2, Flight Lieutenant Toby Keeley. Toby is a former Tornado GR4 pilot. He then moved on to instruct on the Hawk, but is the Hawk's new guys. The Royal Air Force's newest advanced jet trainer, we call the Hawk T Mark II. Toby was in fact the role demonstration pilot in 2015 for the Hawk T2. To the right now, the shape of an aircraft, specifically that of the Spitfire, ready for the Spitfire roll. Upside down now, reaching 2,500 feet in this roll. All of those who have lost their lives in the Royal Air Force or Royal Flying Corps since 1914. Their motto, lest we forget, a very important message that needs to be passed on to all future generations. Looking to the front left now, the shape of Spitfire is about to change as we get ready for a fabulous dynamic manoeuvre in the first half of this show. And if you look at the formation on the leader's left wing is the next of our new pilots. He's Red 3, Flight Lieutenant Dan Lowe's. Dan is a former Typhoon pilot. He spent a number of tours on the front line and then became a qualified weapons instructor. More recently has been on the test and evaluation squadron. Looking left, the smoke is on. 8 and 9 switch to red and blue smoke as they start to roll around the other 7 aircraft in Tornado. Making it hard for Reds 8 and 9 to continue this turn. Red 1 enters a 3G left-hand turn. Finishing over to Red 8, finishes that final roll, and the smoke goes off. Drops at the very back of the formation as Reds 8 and 9 tuck in behind, and they're forming the shape of that fabulous feat of British aviation engineering excellence as they continue this left-hand turn. They put white smoke on now in Concorde. And he actually joined the Red Arrows back in 2011 and left in 2013, having led the synchro pair. That's him at the top of the formation now. Red 5, Chris would like to say a big shout out to his mum and dad, his brother Julian, his wife Elena, and their kids Harry, David, Irene, Grace, and their friend Sophie. He's also got a friend here who is Hannah. Big hello to you guys. To the right now, our trademark shape, this is Diamond, and it's the Diamond Roll. There we go, silhouette. Trademark shape, all 9 jigs smoking once 9 jets together performing close formation aerobatics. Well, now we're about to change the tempo of the display as we split into smaller sections of between 2 and 7 jets for some more dynamic manoeuvring. You'll see over to the front left, the diamond is changing to a big T shape. That's known as Dagger. At the front of Dagger are Reds 1 to 5. They're known as Enid, after Enid Blyton's famous 5. And at the back in the straight line are Reds 6, 7, 8 and 9. Their collective name as a formation is Jippo. Jippo was the nickname of the gentleman who first led the back 4 aircraft back in 1968 when the Red Arrow started flying night shift displays. So now rolling out over this fabulous lineup of Spitfire aircraft, the white smoke is on. Get your cameras ready for the detonator. Enid split at the top, now keep your eyes on Jippo. Descending to 100 feet, their closing speed is 820 miles an hour. They get ready to fly the Jippo Pass. Turn, says Red 6, they keep full power on the jets, now leave their smoke on. They're turning away from us, pulling 6G or 6 times the force of gravity. That's Red 6 on the left now. He'd like to say a big hello to his mum and dad, David and Jackie, who are watching in the audience today. So they're pointing back towards us, about to fly the Cyclone. Comes a lone jet. This is Red 9, coming in very fast at around 500 miles an hour. It's going to fly through this. See the parts behind us for the next maneuver. Red 9 is Lieutenant Emmett Cox. He's actually from New Zealand, but he moved to the UK in 2002 to join the Royal Air Force, becoming a tornado pilot and Takano flying instructor.
Just your autofocus on, haven't you?
In the team.
You've got your autofocus on, haven't you?
Enid climb steeply to our front left, look directly ahead now to find 6, 7 and 8. 7 and 8 put their red and blue smoke on. They're rolling around Red 6 before they split in the vortex. Up through the middle of the vortex with the white smoke is and it's his 3rd year in the team. Happy to continue this manoeuvre. The opposition barrel rolls. Now we need to look over to the front left. Look front left. Enid line astern goes, says Red 1. Looking over to the front left, you'll see Reds 1 to 5 now drop down stack top to bottom with 5 at the very back, 1 at the top, 2, 3 and 4 in between. Red 1 enters a left-hand turn. The following pilots input a lot of rudder using their feet to swing the jets out like a pendulum. on the right. They want to switch to the other way round. They do this in the slalom. Now you have reds 2 and 4 on the right, reds 3 and 5 on the left as they continue this left-hand turn. The shape is battle. The jets around 20 feet apart in this shape. All 5 jets now pressing the top right button on the control column to operate the red smoke. Now they use their natural front position where the right button sits to switch back to the airspace. Now we need to look to the right again as we get ready for JIPO. In fact, I'm just hearing on the radio, we have an aircraft just entered our protected airspace. So we're just pausing before we carry on with the display. We have a 6 nautical mile radius cylinder of airspace which protects our display. When you've got 9 displays split to the 4 winds, flying up to 5 or 550 miles an hour, we need to have protected airspace. We can't afford for any other aircraft to be in the area. Unfortunately, somebody hasn't read their notices to airmen, their NOTAMs, so we do have an aircraft in our protected airspace. So we're just getting an idea of what's happening to him, making sure he gets out of the way and we can continue with the performance. The next event will be JIPO coming in from the right-hand side, but I'll update you as to when that might be. Here comes JIPO. This is the Hurricane. Around 6 and 7 who are going upside down and upright at different stages as they fly the Hurricane. We're soon to come in from the right. We'll have Enid. They've elected to go flat now since the pattern is easier to arrange after that pause, and they'll be coming in for a manoeuvre we call the Revolution. On the far right of the Revolution will be red 4, and I'll talk more in a minute. Looking to the right now for Enid in the Revolution. Red 2 last year, he's a former Tucano and Tornado pilot. He'd like to say hello to his mum and dad, Val and Trev, watching today. Now looking ahead for JIPO and the JIPO break. Now, synchro descending to 100 feet for the double rolls. Pitch up to the outside as they fly the rollbacks. We need to now look left and right again. the synchro pair. This time you'll see red 6 on the left and red 7 on the right.
Okay, good.
On comes their white
Put the focus on all.
They're now closing at 800 miles an hour. They're going to cross 3 times in opposing 360-degree turns. Ready for a 6G turn? This is the carousel. Pulling 6G, pilots work very hard. It's heavier than usual, so they're working hard to stop the blood from pooling in their feet and out of their brakes to make them blackouts. They're inflating trousers to help that. They'll cross, swapping their smoke colours. Go around the front, they'll swap back to white smoke as they finish their final manoeuvre in the carousel. Duxford, please put your hands together for the synchro pair. Set up all the displays for now. Now comes the white smoke, 7 headlights coming towards you. Unrolling, he puts his red smoke on, he pitches up to draw the mathematical symbol for infinity around the rest of the formation. This is the infinity break. You've been watching the Royal Air Force Aerobatic team, the Red Arrow.